You have noticed the shift. It is undeniable now. You walk into a room, and the atmosphere instantly alters. Conversations pause. Eyes dart away. The air grows thick, heavy with an unspoken tension. People who used to reach out to you constantly have suddenly gone quiet. You are experiencing the strange, isolating silence that comes when your vibration outgrows your environment. Physically, your reality is reorganizing itself, and it is exhausting. Your sleep patterns are disrupted. You wake up at odd hours, 3 or 4 in the morning, feeling a sudden rush of adrenaline or a heavy, unexplainable fatigue. You might be experiencing a throbbing pressure at the base of your neck or right between your eyes. Technology might be glitching when you touch it. Screens flickering. Phones dying rapidly. Your physical body is currently holding a frequency that the dense world around you simply does not know how to process. This is not a medical mystery. This is a biological upgrade. Your DNA is responding to a massive influx of divine light. And the physical symptoms you are feeling are merely the friction between your newly upgraded energy and the old, decaying matrix you are leaving behind. Emotionally, this transition feels like a solitary confinement of the soul. You are looking at the people you have known for years, family members, childhood friends, co-workers, and you feel an absolute, chilling detachment. The grief of this separation is incredibly real. You feel the sting of their subtle rejections, the passive-aggressive comments, the way they purposely leave you out of gatherings. You feel the deep, aching loneliness of being entirely misunderstood by the very people who were supposed to protect you. It feels like betrayal. You wonder what you did wrong. You replay conversations in your head, searching for the exact moment you offended them, looking for a logical reason for their sudden coldness. But let me stop you right there. You did absolutely nothing wrong. The confusion and the sorrow you feel are natural, but they are based on a profound illusion. You are assuming they are reacting to your personality. You are assuming they are upset about something you said or did. They are not. They are reacting to your power. What is happening in the unseen realm is a violent, desperate reaction to your spiritual elevation. You have to understand that most people in this matrix are entirely governed by attachments. They are weighed down by low-frequency entities, generational curses, and parasitic energies that feed constantly on their fear, their gossip, and their blind compliance to the system. When you were operating at their level, you were safe. You were predictable. You were one of them. But something inside you has cracked open. A divine seal has been broken, and your spirit has remembered its origin. Your energy field, your aura, has expanded massively. You are no longer emitting the frequency of a victim, a follower, or a sleeper. You are broadcasting the raw, unadulterated frequency of a chosen one, and to the entities operating through the people around you. Your light is completely blinding. It is absolutely terrifying to them. They can feel the chains breaking. When you sit across from a narcissist or a heavily matrix-bound individual, they do not just see you. Their spirit feels the absolute authority of the Most High radiating from your core. Their demons recognize your angels, and because they cannot control you anymore, their only defense mechanism is to reject you, to isolate you, or to try and make you feel crazy. The sudden arguments out of nowhere, the smear campaigns behind your back, the bizarre accusations, these are not human reactions. These are spiritual defense mechanisms. The dark forces animating your critics are panicking because they know they have lost all access to your energy supply. They can feel the massive wall of spiritual fire that has been erected around you. They feel the shift. They feel the exact moment you stopped caring about their validation. And it absolutely terrifies them. You are stepping into a realm of spiritual autonomy that they cannot even comprehend, let alone manipulate. Every time you choose peace over their drama, every time you walk away from a toxic dynamic, you are sending a shockwave through the invisible realm. They feel your silence as a roaring thunder. They feel your boundaries as impenetrable fortresses. You are not just changing, you are becoming untouchable, and that is why they are watching you with such hidden fear. Let us go deeper into the unseen architecture of this phenomenon. You must understand the exact mechanics of what is happening behind the veil, because this is not a random sequence of unfortunate events. This is a highly orchestrated spiritual event. For years, perhaps your entire life up until this point, you operated under a covert spiritual contract. When you incarnated into this specific bloodline, into this dense, heavy three-dimensional reality, you agreed to take on the density of the environment. You allowed your magnificent, expansive light to be compressed into a very small, very restricted frequency band. You did this to survive. You did this to blend in. You became the battery for the people around you. Every time you over-explained yourself, every time you abandoned your own boundaries to keep the peace, every time you absorbed the heavy, toxic dumping of a narcissist or an energy vampire, you were acting as a spiritual filtration system. You took their heavy, dark, stagnant energy, processed it through your own empathic heart, and gave them back pure, usable life force. You were their lifeline. But something fundamental has shifted. A cosmic alarm clock went off in your spirit, and you broke the foundational rule of the Matrix. You refused to remain asleep. You stopped playing the game. The exact moment you began to choose yourself. The moment you said no and meant it without guilt. The moment you stopped trying to heal people who are committed to their own sickness. A massive, violent severance happened in the spiritual realm. The etheric cords that connected you to these energetic parasites were instantaneously slashed. When this happened, your frequency did not just rise, it skyrocketed. Imagine a hot air balloon that has been tied down by dozens of heavy sandbags. For years, the people around you have been those sandbags, keeping your energy low, grounded in their drama, their fears, and their limiting beliefs. When you finally cut those ropes, your spirit shot upwards into its natural, sovereign altitude. This sudden elevation in your vibration changes your energetic signature entirely. You are no longer emitting a frequency of compliance. You are vibrating at the frequency of divine truth. And in the spiritual realm, truth is not a concept. It is a blinding, burning light. It is a highly disruptive force. The people around you, those who are still plugged into the system, operate on a frequency of illusion. They wear masks. They lie to themselves. They live in a carefully constructed reality of ego, manipulation, and control. When you walk into their presence now, carrying this massive, untamed frequency of truth, your energy acts as a glaring, inescapable mirror. You do not even have to speak a single word. Your pure, silent vibration forces their unhealed trauma, their deep-seated insecurities, and their hidden demons right to the surface. Physically, Their nervous systems cannot handle the high voltage energy you are radiating. It makes them feel agitated, restless, and deeply uncomfortable in their own skin when you are merely sitting in the same room. Emotionally, they feel an inexplicable wave of inadequacy and shame because your authentic light highlights everything they are desperately trying to hide about themselves. Spiritually, the low vibrational entities that govern these individuals are scorched by your aura. They are quite literally being burned by the light of the Most High that now flows freely through your upgraded energy centers. This is the exact reason for their sudden hostility. This is why they whisper behind your back. This is why they try to mock your awakening, or label you as crazy, arrogant, and changed. They are trying to pull you back down to a frequency they can digest. They want the old you back. They want the battery back. They are starving for the energy you used to provide. And they are terrified because they realize they can no longer reach you. You have ascended out of their vibrational bandwidth. And to them, your new power looks like the ultimate threat. Watch them closely. Watch the physical manifestation of their panic. When you walk into their presence now, their body language betrays the fear they are desperately trying to hide. They cannot hold eye contact with you. Their gaze darts away. Unable to meet the piercing, ancient knowing in your eyes, they fidget. They cross their arms. They physically shrink or overcompensate by becoming unnaturally loud and boisterous. This is the physical reaction of a lower frequency colliding with a superior divine force. They will physically try to orchestrate your downfall, frantically texting behind your back, whispering in corners, and deploying their flying monkeys to run smear campaigns. They must create a physical echo chamber of lies to validate themselves, because the physical reality of your unbothered peace is actively destroying their entire narrative. Emotionally, they are spiraling into absolute chaos. You must understand that a narcissist or an agent of the Matrix relies entirely on your emotional reaction to feel powerful. They need your tears, your anger, your defensive explanations to feed their hollow, gaping egos. But now, you give them nothing. You give them silence. You give them a flat, emotionless stare. And emotionally, this starves them to death. It triggers a profound, paralyzing terror deep within their psyche. The jealousy they feel toward you is no longer just resentment. It is a desperate, clawing panic. They realize you do not need them. They realize your happiness, your stability, and your power are entirely self-sourced from the divine. To someone who survives by leeching off others, a self-sustaining being is a terrifying anomaly. They will emotionally project their own rotting character onto you, calling you arrogant, selfish, cold, or crazy. Do not be deceived. That is not an insult. That is their confession. That is the terrified wail of an ego realizing it has been entirely disarmed and exposed. But the most violent reaction is happening in the spiritual realm. The entities that pilot these broken vessels are in a state of absolute emergency. The Matrix is a highly organized system of energetic farming, and you just broke the fences. You walked off the farm. The demonic attachments and low vibrational spirits that use these people as puppets are fundamentally terrified of the anointing on your life. They can see the spiritual armor you are wearing. When they attempt to throw a psychic attack your way, a heavy thought of doubt, a curse of failure, an invisible cord of manipulation, it no longer penetrates. It hits the blazing firewall of your expanded aura and violently ricochets right back to the sender. This is the spiritual boomerang effect. and it is happening in real time. You are watching their karma return to them at lightning speed. The Matrix is deploying its final, desperate tactics against you. It will send old exes back to test your boundaries. It will orchestrate chaotic, heavy situations to try and drag your vibration back down into the mud. But the spiritual hierarchy has completely flipped. You are no longer the prey. You are the apex spiritual authority in every room you enter. They are entirely at the mercy of the frequency you choose to set. When you remain seated in your divine power, when you refuse to lower your vibration to match their chaos, their own dark energy consumes them. They are choking on the very venom they are trying to spit at you. Your mere existence as a sovereign, awakened, chosen one is a daily reminder of their impending judgment. You do not have to lift a single finger to defeat them. Your elevated frequency is doing all the fighting for you. And it is a battle they have already lost. Your light is the ultimate weapon, and they have no shield against it. They are watching you rise, paralyzed by the undeniable truth that you were always meant to rule the spaces they tried to bury you in. Let us pull back the veil even further. You must look at this not just as an interpersonal conflict, but as a massive, orchestrated cosmic event. This is the deep truth, the metaphysical reality of your existence that has been hidden from you since the day you were born into this matrix. You are not merely a human being going through a difficult life transition. You are a living, breathing prophecy, fulfilling its divine mandate. Physically, the reality you see around you, the systems, the institutions, the daily grind was meticulously designed by the Matrix to be a closed, heavy loop. It operates on a predictable, dense frequency that feeds on suffering and stagnation. But when you step into your purpose, your physical body literally becomes a tuning fork for the divine. The physical laws of probability are beginning to bend around you. Notice how doors physically open for you now that were bolted completely shut before. Notice how synchronicity happens in your waking, physical life, repeating numbers, rare animal totems, chance encounters with the right people at the exact right time. These are not coincidences. This is the physical world rearranging itself to accommodate your massive energetic footprint. Your cellular structure is actively mutating, upgrading from carbon-based density to hold the crystalline light of the Creator. This is why you require more rest, more pure water, and more absolute solitude. Your physical vessel is incubating a new world. Emotionally, the profound peace you are beginning to feel is not just the absence of toxic drama, it is the active presence of divine law. The universal law of resonance strictly dictates that you can only attract and experience what you are vibrating at. For years, your beautiful empathy was hijacked, causing you to emotionally attract parasites and broken people who refuse to heal. But now, you have anchored your heart into the emotional frequency of God's unyielding truth. This divine love is not a soft, weak, or compliant emotion. It is a fierce, consuming fire. It burns away false attachments and trauma bonds. You are becoming emotionally untouchable because you have finally realized that your worth was never, ever in the hands of the Matrix. Your emotional baseline is no longer anxiety or fear of abandonment. It is a deep, unshakable, regal sovereignty. You feel a profound, unapologetic detachment from the opinions of others because, emotionally, you have completely revoked your citizenship from their lower dimensional world. Spiritually, you are experiencing the grand, prophesied separation. The wheat is actively being separated from the chaff, the light from the dark. This was always the sovereign plan of the Most High. Long before the foundation of this physical world, you were selected, briefed, and deployed for this exact timeline. You are a star seed, a chosen one, an ancient soul sent into the heaviest, darkest corners of the earth to act as a divine demolition crew of one. The spiritual prophecy spoken over your life is not one of suffering. It is one of ultimate activation. You were never sent here to fix the old, corrupt systems. You were sent here to outgrow them, to collapse them simply by withdrawing your energetic support. The narcissists, the energy vampires, the matrix agents, they were merely your training ground. They were the spiritual weights you used to build your divine resilience. And now, the training is over. The universe is actively enforcing the law of divine compensation on your behalf. Every ounce of energy that was stolen from you, every tear you cried in secret, every moment of peace that was hijacked, it is all being returned to you 1,000-fold. The dark forces thought they were burying you, but they lacked the spiritual sight to realize you were a divine seed. The ultimate truth is that your energy changing is the exact mechanism that triggers the collapse of their false reality. They are terrified because the pure light you carry is the dawn of their end. You are the architect of the new earth, walking in the absolute, unquestionable authority of the Creator, and there is absolutely nothing in this universe that can stop the unfolding of your glorious destiny. So, how do you navigate this monumental transition? What are the practical, real-world steps to protect this incredible frequency you are now holding? First, we must address the physical layer of your existence. You must begin to ruthlessly protect your environment and your physical vessel. This means physically distancing yourself from anyone who drains your battery or demands you lower your vibration to make them comfortable. This means putting your phone on silent and ignoring the sudden, chaotic texts meant to pull you into their drama. It means literally, physically walking out of the room when the low-frequency gossip, complaining, and heavy matrix programming begin. You do not need to announce your departure. Your physical absence is your boundary. You must spend time physically grounding your body. Walk barefoot on the soil, letting the earth pull the static, chaotic electricity of the matrix out of your nervous system. Drink massive amounts of pure water to flush out the physical, cellular debris of the old timelines you are actively shedding. If a toxic person reaches out, physically delete the message. Do not type a response. Do not engage. Your physical silence is an impenetrable wall they cannot climb. Emotionally, you are stepping into the profound, quiet power of absolute detachment. This is the phase where you must actively release the deep-seated guilt of leaving them behind. Listen to me very closely. You cannot carry dead weight into the promised land. It is not your job to be their emotional punching bag, their therapist, or their savior. They had the same opportunity to awaken that you did, but they chose the comfort of their heavy illusions. Emotionally, you must let them be angry. Let them fundamentally misunderstand you. Let them spin their false narratives and play the victim to whoever will listen. Your emotional baseline must remain completely untouched, a deep, calm, glassy lake that simply reflects their frantic chaos right back at them without absorbing a single drop of it. When you feel the familiar, old emotional pull, the conditioned urge to fix the situation, to soothe their fragile egos, to over-explain your stance, you must take a deep breath and consciously choose the quiet. royal isolation of your peace. Their emotional panic is not your responsibility. You are emotionally sovereign now, spiritually. It is time to actively, aggressively seal your energy field. The dark forces animating the Matrix will attempt to send out final, desperate psychic hooks to drag you back down. You must consciously close every single door in the unseen realm. You are no longer an open buffet for wandering, hungry spirits or parasitic humans. You are a fortified temple. Visualize a dense, blinding sphere of golden fire completely surrounding your physical and etheric bodies. This is your divine armor. Speak this truth into the ether to seal your frequency. I call upon the Most High, the Creator of all pure, infinite light. I decree and declare that my energy field is sovereign. Sacred ground, I command all lower frequencies, all parasitic attachments, all hexes, and all matrix-bound projections to immediately detach from my physical and spiritual body. I return all jealousy, all hidden malice, and all psychic attacks back to their origin. Completely neutralized by divine fire, I recall every ounce of my life force that has been scattered, stolen, or freely given to those who meant me harm. I wash my spirit in the highest frequency of truth. My aura is sealed in impenetrable, blinding light. I am untouchable by the dense illusions and the dark agendas of this decaying world. I step fully into my highest power, my ancestral purpose, and my divine inheritance. So it is spoken, and so it is permanently done. If this frequency resonated with your spirit today, if you felt the profound truth of these words vibrating in your very bones, it is because you are truly one of the chosen. Claim this timeline. Anchor this energy right now by leaving a comment below. I am sealed in divine light. Subscribe to this channel to stay plugged into the true frequency of the awakening. Hit the like button to force this message through the Matrix algorithm, so it can reach the exact starseed who is sitting in the dark, wondering why they feel so alone, desperately needing this confirmation. You are never alone. We are the architects of the new earth, and we are rising together. Stay powerful, stay completely unbothered, and never, ever dim your blinding light for anyone again.